Alright, so going into race 4, I'm going to take the bizarre risk of attempting to fit this all in one episode, which means I'm going to try and go through this pretty fast. Now, you don't usually do this for championships, but the first 3 races I've ended up only taking up about half an hour, if that, on the recording timer. So, currently looking at points halfway through the championship, the points leader, by a lot, is Dom DePrisco, with results of 6th, 4th, and 1st. He's at 52. Second is Thrasher at 43. And it's Carly Watts at 41, Brian Ice at 39, Shaughnessy at 36, 37, I'm blind. Danvers is 36, Barbara Page is 33, Eric at 31, Tater Chip at 30, and that's a 3-way tie along with Motoya Iwasaki and Mika Harris. Jake Scarborough's at 29 points. Then it's also a 4-way tie for 13th. 27 points, including Stephanie Kaiser, James Stillwell, Johnny Parker, and Riho Futaba. It's also a tie for 17th between Tomas Pager and Ambrosio Reyes, 26 points. And Dorica Zoya is technically last at 19 because, in fact, yes, Wayne Hansen not only has DNF from the championship, but he is actually gone. His car is unfixable. As the second he got it back to his shop, one of his wheels just straight up came off when he put it on the jack. So, that Murcielago, he's gonna have to get a new one. Or something else. Now I guess he understands what it was like 6 years ago. Which is actually more like 7 now. Actually, well, technically 8, but it's been 7 years. It's 7.5. So it happened summer 2015 between Dom and Wayne. Dom went to prison for 6 years, came back out, ended up here. Now we're in early 2023 in real life. But in universe, we're in like... Well, let's see, we're at like week... Math, we're week 16, so we're at like the end of April here. So... yeah. It's close to 8 years in universe. So without further ado, we shall head into round 4 here at Fuji, as we can see. And we're green from Fuji. A bit of post-editing will be required as we are on board with one of those drivers in that big tie, Riho Futaba and her GTR Delta. And she has to slowly proceed through turn 1 at Fuji, a 5-lap race, so it's going to be a bit longer than the last few. Even, and that's assuming we don't have another race-ending crash. It also seems to have a bit of understeer, so when she gets this thing back to the FMR shop, she's going to have a bit of tuning to do to get this thing to handle the way she wants. And part of that's absolutely going to require some braking tuning. I don't know exactly what she'll do or what she could do to fix the brakes, but they need to get a little better. Holy Aventador! Doesn't think Riho knew that was there. And so this race for Pacific Spirit is probably going to be quite a morale boost, because this is the first race they've ever had the ability to do where they've not had any antagonists. They no longer have any enemies. They dealt with Natasha Harris, and now they've dealt with Wayne Hansen. They can't deal with Danvers' straight line speed, though. Or Riho's. Holy buckets, that's 210. There's the acceleration, allowing her to screech ahead of people, and then the lack of braking, causing her to lose positions just as quickly. This thing just feels like the natural evolution of Siegfried Brandt's S13. Lethal acceleration, really high top speed for its category, but once it gets to the braking zone, it might as well be braking with a fucking parachute because it never slows down. Danvers is giving no quarter through what I believe to be turn 7. I should really look at a track map so I can figure out what corner numbers are what. They make a bit of contact, but nothing serious, nothing they'll be exchanging words in the pit lane over. So I actually may need a new pair of underwear after that. But Riho manages to keep the paint on her car, not his. I think in his panic he may have forced Eric out a bit wide. Oh, bit of contact. Interesting call with the purple window tint on Riho's car. Because yeah, that's tint. The windows are there. Huh? Okay. Makes sense to me. Alright, GT7. Anyway. Not to let on that any longer, Riho understeers her way ahead of James Stillwell and Dom DeFrisco, finds her way into T14. 14? What? 4? And is now part of a 4-car train, attempting to take the lead away from Tomas Pager, who has barely held station there, it seems. Iwasaki is all over his back bumper. But the AMG GTR just has just enough top speed to remain in the lead, far. Riho takes to the inside of Brian Ice. He gets that spot on him. Down the inside of Iwasaki, a bit of curb assistance. And she will grab that position as well. And yeah, I think Pager's vice grip on the lead ends there, as that Delta has a lot of acceleration. But can he outbrake the Delta? Or will Brian Ice complicate matters? Oh my god, no he won't! Ooh! Jesus Christ! What the fuck was that? Oh! Pager didn't look in his mirror. Yeah, so Ice was like, oh, I see some space here. I will go to the left side of Pager. As he's moving to the left to take the racing line, not aware that Brian Ice is doing 13 miles an hour faster than him. Ice has to get on the steering to avoid major contact. But I think he probably should have just said, I'll apologize later, because this is what happened because he didn't. How in the name of fuck is this car still moving? This thing's got 2 different kinds of suspension damage, and it's spitting out more smoke than a vape user in fucking New England, and yet somehow he's just like, nah, don't care. Don't care, would rather outbrake my teammate and take 4th place back, and then fail. Felt cute, might have a life-threatening crash later, I don't know. Delta is out of here now. Iwasaki's just looking for second. He gets down the inside of Pager, and Pager has to take some grass to maintain P2. Still isn't going to work. Iwasaki has all-wheel drive. And Dom DePrisco is also going to take advantage. He's going to try and get to third behind the R34, but Pager locks him out. Dom going for win number 2. But he's got to get up to, he has to somehow get up to Futaba first. And now that we're on the front straightaway, that goal has become even harder. You will get ahead of Tomas. Can he outbrake? I don't think he's outbraking shit from here. Try as he may. But he can out-accelerate Iwasaki. Will he send it here? Oh, he will. Won't work. Iwasaki squeezes him on the inside to maintain P2 as we head through the long right-hander. Dom can't try it here either. Unlike with Pager, where he was able to use all-wheel drive advantage, he can't do that in the Huracan because the R34 also does that. Instead, he will just outbrake Iwasaki into the hairpin, which the game did a great job of showing us. Instead of the mountain... that's just textbook outbraking move there, and Dom is suddenly in P2. Can he try and pull someone together through this last sector? We have no real braking zones, though, so I don't really think so. Nothing heavy. We have braking zones, but not major ones. Dom's gonna try for everything. He's gonna get door to door with the It doesn't matter, because now we're on the main straightaway, and while it's a close drag race, the Delta has the edge. Ryo Futaba is going to grab the victory here at Fuji over DePrisco and Iwasaki. Dom is going to pass her on the cooldown lap instead. He had to have that overtake somewhere. How very Dom. So, yeah, the story continues for Futaba as she only got this car 3 days ago, and she didn't get much practice time in with it beforehand because she wasn't ready to use it in the Dream Car Championship. She was going to debut it on week 65, but no, because Yuval Kawakuta had to drive like a freaking moron at Watkins Glen last week and take himself out of the running for the championship. And if you're thinking to yourself, why don't we try to find somebody to replace Wayne Hansen? There's nobody here. Everybody who's not in this championship is probably watching from home right about now. So, other than the admins, I don't really feel like racing. Nitori doesn't have a car in this category, and Thrasher's already in it, so he doesn't need to be in it twice, you know? But, no further talking. On to round 4, where by some miracle Brian Ice will round 5, Franker. Where by some miracle Brian Ice will be able to participate. All right, and we are here for race 5. We are at Bathurst. This seems more like a finale track to me, but it didn't seem logistically doable to go from Japan to America back to Australia. So it's round 5. And we have a very interesting case on our hands here. Depending on how well Dom DePrisco does in this race, he can clinch the championship a race early. That's how dominant this championship has been from him. He leads points at 71. Mind you, the most he could have possibly had up to this point is 80. Second in points is Thrasher at 55. Followed by Carly Watts at 50, Motoya Iwasaki at 48. Futaba at 47, a three-way tie at 46 points between Brian Ice, David Danvers, and Eric Wojciechowski. Amy Shaughnessy at 45, ninth in points. A three-way tie at 43 points for 10th between Tomas Pager, Tater Chip, and James Stillwell. Dorica Zoya at 40 points. Barbara at 39, Mika Harris, Jake Scarborough, and Ambrosio Reyes tied at 34 points. 15th, or tie for 15th. Johnny Parker 18th at 30, and Stephanie Kaiser last in the running at a mere 29. So, essentially, depending on mostly on how Thrasher, Carly Watts, Iwasaki, and Riho do in this race, compared to Dom, he may clinch here at Mount Panorama. But what I'm going to find out is to do the race, so let's do the race. Excellent commentary, me. And we are now doing the race, and the randomizer, seemingly aware of the stakes at hand here, decides that Dom DePrisco will start in last. Oh dear God. Not again, Ice. Not again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. That is ugly right there. So, both Pager and Ice hit this jump wrong. How ironic Tomas Pager hits a jump wrong. Oh, other camera. Nope. There we go. So they both screw up. They both go at the wall. Oh my word. I will look at this crash, damn it. So yeah, they crash. This camera's still wrong. There we go. Stillwell spins out, avoiding Ice's torpedo machine. Eric also locks the brakes, and then we have this. Thrasher left with absolutely nowhere to go. And can't really see this because of Mika Harris. Notices the cloud of smoke, slams the brakes, can't do anything. Mounts! Literally climbs over Brian Ice's car. This may very well be the worst crash we've ever seen. That is, basically a 5-car wreck, and I don't know why we didn't throw a yellow. I don't care if all those cars are able to drive away from that. The track was freaking blocked. It's been a bit of a help to DePrisco, though, who's made his way up the order. And that's knocked out two of Dom's biggest competitors. No. Thrasher was one of them, and the other one was Riho, who got involved in the stack-up. Iwasaki is way in the back here anyway. And he got damaged, so he'll be even further back. He won't be of any threat. Thrasher got absolutely manhandled. His car is damaged pretty much everywhere, as is Brian Ice. I don't know how these two cars are still moving, but we probably won't see them next week, because they're going to be in a... I don't know how we're going to see them in the next race, to be honest. I don't really feel like we should. But they're kind of still driving anyway. Oh my God, the steering lock. So Carly Watts is basically Dom's main competition right now, and she has damage of her own. As does Tomas Pager. As does DeFrisco. But he's carrying on because he knows exactly what he can do if he soldiers through it. Especially now with Watt pitting there, that was probably the exact nail in the coffin he needed to see to not even pit. Barber is defending for P6 and misses the corner completely. And Dom makes her fully aware of that. There have been some rumors flying around that Johnny Parker is sort of considering exiting the Challenge Series, just out of a lack of interest. General lack of interest in general. He feels like he can do more than this. He was a NASCAR hopeful before landing at the Challenge Series, so... Well, he barely makes that stick against his fellow Lamborghini driver. We'll try the same trick on Scarborough, who's not so easily fooled. It forces him to brake aggressively, which allows him to sneak up the inside and enter the podium positions. Yeah, suffice to say, with Thrasher only bringing home 1 point or 2 points right now, and Carly bringing home like Carly needed to be within 4 positions of Dom DeFrisco, and she has more damage. What did this time? Oh, that's just not helping. She almost Brian iced it there, it looks like. And in doing so, smacked the outside wall. As we head back to current time, I think at this point Dom DeFrisco doesn't even have to worry about passing Ambrosio Reyes. He doesn't know it, but he's literally got this championship locked. But I know Dom DeFrisco well enough to know that that's not going to stop him from passing Ambrosio anyway. And to pass him he has. Heading through turn 2. With a lap, just shy of 2 laps to go, the new leader is DeFrisco. At this point, it's just for bonus points. It's for extra credit. Because he is going to have an insurmountable lead at the end of this race. If the closest person to him in points is running God knows where, 18. Stillwell also damaged, but he wasn't really relevant to begin with. What the hell? Oh my god, ice. Please. Ice, please! What the fuck is... Yeah, Thrasher hit him back there. That's not Natasha in that car anymore, Ice. You could stop hitting it. Again, a wealth of stupidity. That man has been very much off his game this week. Good thing his teammates picking up the slack. Oh my god, Ice. You are on a new level of what the fuckness this week. I mean, like, making a mistake at the start of the race was one thing. That just kinda happens. But like, everything else that Ice has done this week has just kind of been a big question mark. He ran into the back of Hansen at Dragon Trail. He choked away the win at Le Mans. It's not really stupid, but it wasn't great driving either. And now he's done that, rejoined straight into Thrasher. Month was about the only race he didn't really do much wrong. Since Barbara pits. I think she had a run-in with Mika Harris. My best guess. Are there any more damages I should know about besides Ice and Thrasher's wasted machinery? I'm again not sure how he's gonna get this thing fixed in time. But he is able to get it back to the pits despite looking probably less like an F50 and more like a Saizeta V16 right now. Just watch the master at work, because that's about the only way we can describe Dom this week. He's certainly picking up the slack for his PSR teammates. Probably has a huge morale boost from the elimination of his arch enemy Wayne Hansen, but he was doing pretty well for himself even before that. One more run up to the chase, and the championship will be secured for Dom DePrisco. Wasn't pretty, but he got through the corner. And so heading into the last corner, Dominic DePrisco has put on another clinic of a race here at Bathurst. He has won the race and the championship. His point total of 91 cannot be surmounted. Ambrosio Reyes and Jake Scarborough round out the podium at a very distant second and third. But yeah, it cannot be, he cannot be dethroned anymore. As I've already done the points, like, before the race. And, I mean, it's pretty clear-cut. Dom's points tally of 91. He's got a 31-point lead over the next car. Tater Chip, in the Aventador, is second in points at a mere 60. Half of those points came in the last two races. That said, they were usually residents of the top 10. In the first two, terrible race at round 3. Thrasher's still third in points after this, if he can even get his car to the racetrack tomorrow. I'm not sure how he's going to do that. That horse has been put through the ringer a couple of times. I guess one would say it's been put on ice. Yeah, I'll just show myself out. Well, the whole put it all in one episode idea has not worked. We're at about 55 minutes on the recording timer, and there's no way I'm finishing this race in 5 minutes. Spent too much time on replays, probably trying to get the right goddamn camera to display. Because that's what most of that replay on lap 1 was just me trying to get the game to show me the far out camera to get the whole crash on screen. So, this race, and it's going to be probably I almost wish this were race 4. It would have been easier to just put this in the first episode and split the other two apart, but that wouldn't make any sense. Anyway, so I guess, yeah, it'll be a 3-3 split. Maybe 4-2 split, I'm not. Doesn't matter. As we head into the final race, we already know who the champion is, but every other position is still up for grabs, and a pretty close championship all around if we ignore the outlier that is DePrisco. The gap between Tater Chip's second in points and last place in points, Starika Zoya, is only 16. So there's still a world where Zoya ends up second in points. Dom's at 91. Tater Chip, or Milo, is at 60. That was the thing. Didn't know his last name. I know Milo, I just don't know his last name. Sort of simplify things. Just go by what they use for their PlayStation username because it's just easier and less confusing. It's a tie for third between Thrasher and Motoya Iwasaki, 57 points. Danvers at 56. Pager, Reyes, and Watts are tied at 55. Gwiazdowski 54, Futaba 53, Shaughnessy, Page, and Scarborough tied at 52. Ice at 50, Stillwell at 46. Parker, Kaiser, and Harris tied at 45, and Zoya is last at 44. And again, she beats Milo by 4 points. She would, or no, I'm stupid. If Milo scored less than 4 points and Dorico won the race, she could still be second in points hypothetically. So let's do the final round here at Daytona. Couldn't have one episode without a starting lights failure. The race is green here from Daytona. We are on board with Mika Harris in her 2017 Ford GT. In a championship that Pacific Spirit Racing has already claimed, the rest of Dom's teammates are basically looking to pick up the scraps under the table and at least make themselves not look as bad in comparison to their teammate who's won the championship by 30 points. It could be more than 30 points even. Who knows how well Dom will do in this race. Dom runs 11th at the moment. Well, now he would know he's clinched, so maybe he's dialing it back, but I don't really think that's his style. Holy Reyes. That's quite fast from the Viper. Wouldn't be surprised if Reyes' top speed there was higher than I managed as the player, being able to go full throttle. Oh! She has to jam the brakes to keep the car under her, but what even facilitated that anyway? Thrasher covered off Dom and forced Mika into the grass, which prevented her from turning in. That's what happened. She had to mash the brakes to keep the car under her and be able to stop for the upcoming hairpin. This time she puts herself on the outside and is allowed to stay there, but still can't clear the F50 there. But you can easily do it on exit with more horsepower. I don't know how this car is even here, let alone leading. Still don't know if Thrasher made it either, as Tomas Pager just uses Riho up to get into P2. Can she respond? Doesn't seem like it. Instead, she'll be swiftly overtaken by Harris, who will do the same to Pager. I don't know if Thrasher's here either. This F50 got taken to Twisted Metal last round. Looks like some other members of PSR are going to get to prove themselves. This is shaping up to be a battle between Mika and Ice for the victory here at Daytona, barring somebody else coming out of nowhere. Reyes obviously had pace early on. I don't know if he's still got that in him or not. Only one car's worth of slipstream. I don't think Mika's going to be able to do too much into this bus stop here, although she does get alongside and gets too wide with him on the way in. But Ice breaks defensively and stays ahead for the moment. Who got the better exit there? Looks like it was pretty much dead even. Harris has the slipstream though, and not even the Murciélagos horsepower can keep that from being a major factor here at Daytona. As the Ford GT moves into the lead, narrowly. Oh, but she's missed her braking point, probably either celebrated too soon or distracted by the existence of Brian Ice. Misses her braking zone and she's got to do all that again. Man, these cameras are far away. They're over there. Thank you. Mika goes to the inside of the second hairpin and slides up across Ice to secure the spot. And just in time for the oval section, if she can stay ahead going onto it, which it looks like she will. They have an iffy corner exit, but it's enough. Running the high lane to reduce the ability of slipstreaming. Ice had a bit of a run, but it wasn't enough. Now Harris only has to make a good bus stop. And she has made quite a decent one, I would say. And with that margin, I'm pretty sure that that will seal the deal for the Ford GT. And these two were clearly in very much a class of their own up there. As Harris flashes the headlights and grabs the victory at Daytona. The American car winning in America, Brian Ice P2, at least he's North American, and then Tomas Pager will grab a podium finish just ahead of Reyes. Furtado gets 5th to end off her championship, and while DePrisco will lose a little bit of ground to everybody else with just 9th place, he didn't exactly need an amazing result. He had the first 5 to carry him to an effortless title. And so now as we look at the final point standings from Daytona / from the Dream Car Championship, DePrisco is the champion at 103 points, followed by Milo, second in points at 75. I think the main way that Dom managed this is probably the most frantic melee of a championship we've ever had. And that's, you know, that's saying something, because we've had championships with Natasha Harris in them, and championships with Season 1 Nico Mizoto in them. But Everybody was hitting everybody in this championship, especially after race 3. Bathurst, actually no, Monza, Bathurst, and to some extent even Fuji was kind of iffy with contact. It was happening all the time. Or no, it wasn't Fuji, it was Dragon Trail that was bad. So yeah, Bathurst, Monza, and Dragon Trail for contact were just like the absolute worst races. So yeah. But Dom was never involved in any of those messes, so he was able to stride away to good results and even 2 wins. The only driver to get more than 1. So yeah. And Milo did much the same to a lesser extent, except for race 3, where I don't think anybody could avoid that. Thrasher had a decent championship that was absolutely soiled by Bathurst. So, yeah, looking down the rest of the points, Thrasher still ends up third at 70, followed by Iwasaki at 65. This is not organized, hang on. Okay, yeah, I read that wrong. Thrasher's not third in points. Tomas Pager is, in his first championship here. That podium finish will allow him to get third in points at 73. Milo at 75. Ambrosio Reyes, who did terrible in the first 2 races, really picked things up in the last 4. Out of those 72 points he ends off with, he scored more than half of them in these last 2 rounds. Thrasher is 5th in points at 70. Futaba and Ice are tied at 69. Nice. For 6th in points. Gwozdowski at 68. A 3-way tie at 65 points for 10th in points. Iwasaki, Harris, and Watts involved in that tie. Danvers and Scarborough tie at 59. Barbara Page at 57. Johnny Parker 56. Amy Shaughnessy with really only 1 good result at Dragon Trail with 54. Zoya at 53. James Stillwell 52. Stephanie Kaiser will be last in points at 49. She had 1 second place finish at round 2 at Monza by just simply avoiding the bullshit. But everywhere else, she didn't really have much to offer. She did sort of the same at Bathurst by, again, avoiding everything, but that's really her only strong suit. If we don't run Bathurst and Monza, she ends up walking away with 14 points. So yeah, oh my word. That is going to wrap things up here in the Dream Car Championship. And yeah, I guess on to episode 65 in the near-ish future, because that's all she wrote here.